You're listening back to part two of our interview for the show for Friday, March the 22nd. We recently got off the show with Chase Arrington, who is the vice president of the Student Government Association. He is, of course, putting together a lot of events with the president, Colleen McNichol, who were both recently elected officers in the Student SGA Council. And of course, he said they had cabinets, the Senate, and all this stuff. You know, it seems more so of a this feels like the real political field you're going into and working in Richmond and Washington and wherever your capital local Congress is put. You know, that's where the place you go. So I thought that was kind of cool. And of course, SGA, a lot of people, they consider elementary, middle, and high school. He was saying they're different from college, from the collegiate level, to whereas you're a public school student in a K-12 school system. So, and of course, I think SGA starts as early as third or fourth grade now, kind of goes through the 12th grade, senior year, and high school. Of course, middle school is that transition period where they kind of get you start out doing the little small things, and then towards by your senior 8th grade year, as they classified it from the middle school I went to. If you're 8th grade, you're considered a senior when you graduate. 12th grade, senior. Okay, you get the picture there. Anyway, so by the time you get to your 8th grade year, going into your freshman year of high school, you start to do those little baby things again, and then you continue to climb more and more to those advanced things. Great opportunities with Student Government Association and Student Council as well that promotes a lot of the events here on here on campus, and a lot of the community events they took on as well. Of course, like you're saying, Highlander Pride, he's trying to work on with that. That's an event coming up in next month. And of course, you can go to Twitter and follow Highlander Club. There is a link already posted there. You can get tickets to register for those events. And speaking of tickets and events, tomorrow, this weekend is Highlander weekend. We will have the class of 2023 coming up and visiting and touring around the campus. I'll be running around with a camera, doing some coverage for Radford on Camera, Rock TV, and for the Tartan. So I'll be doing some of those events. Maybe not for the Tartan, but I mean for radio. For Radford on Camera, Rock TV. So I'll have those coming up for you later, probably in the next couple of weeks or so. We'll be putting those little projects on to showcase what is Highlander Day, Highlander Weekend, all about. Of course, it's pretty much, I think I done summed it up again, showcasing the incoming class for next year. You go to all these different booths. There is a, not a career fair, but more of a club fair type gathering thing they have in one of the auditoriums here on campus. And of course, you'll see balloons designated for those locations. And of course, if you see me tomorrow, come by and say hello to me, and I'll get you a business card and we'll get you home on the show. And there I go again with this audio thing. I don't know why. All right, so there we go. We're going to fix this right now. We got Tristan. He just came in about 5 minutes ago. I'm going to pull him in here and see if because his show's next. I got to get his, make sure everything's ready to go. Alrighty, so as you may notice, out west in Midwest, there has been a significant amount of flooding. Parts of the area there have seen minor flooding. Major flooding is expected from far north as Minnesota. That water will go from Nebraska, Oklahoma, all the way down to Texas, and will feed into the Mississippi River, Louisiana, and parts of Tennessee will have some significant flooding in the next coming weeks. As you know, there was a massive amount of rain that fell parts of Nebraska and Iowa. That water has to travel somewhere, so it's traveling further south, down as water does flow down, and it does that too. So it has to come to a stopping point at some point, right? So all that water in the Mississippi River, it's going to go all the way down to Mississippi, Louisiana, and the Delta area, which is basically a stream amount of rivers that are just combined together. It makes there's another word for it. I can't think of what it is, but they has all these little deltas and trenches. I think is what not trenches. Anyway, I can't think of the word. It starts with a T, I believe it does. But anyway, so this water just emerges and goes into the Gulf of Mexico. And then once it's in the Gulf of Mexico, it's then transported into the Pacific or Atlantic Ocean, depending on which way it does flow. And so after that point from the Mississippi Delta to the Gulf of Mexico, that water is just rushing and raging. So the Mississippi River over the next couple of weeks is going to be over a extensive period of stress, as water will just be overflowing and over minimum. So a lot of the banks down there in the south and the Mid-South are going to be dealing with some massive flooding here over the next coming weeks, because this water has to go somewhere. On top of all that, we've had a record amount of snowfall on parts of the Midwest and South or North Pacific West that has to travel along the Columbian River. Then that water has to be transported into the Mississippi River, where then it is transported out of the Gulf of Mexico. So we have not only the flooding to worry about, you have all the snowpack from the northern part of the U.S., from Canada, that just sinks down. And of course, yesterday, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, released their prediction for flooding in parts of the good chunk of the Northeast and South and Mid-Atlantic, and it's going to be under a minor threat of some flooding this coming spring. Parts of the Midwest, that's going to be under the high end of some significant flooding likely to occur between now and about late May. Unfortunately, that's going to be resulting in some just significant flooding, and of course, a lot of these banks and streams will just overcome themselves because they're so stressed, and all that water will then at some point, just create devastating flooding. So parts of the Midwest has a significant flooding this year. Parts of the Pacific West has got like a minor chance of some significant flooding. So the eastern part of the U.S. and the Midwest is going to be in some major high chance of flooding predicted by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, aka NOAA. And so NOAA. Google them on their NOAA.gov and weather.gov. They've got a lot of information, links associated with them too. Now, of course, the Prediction Center from the Climate Prediction Center, which is based out of Norman, Oklahoma, I think so, is put out a prediction of what it's going to be like for the next 7 to 14 days. We're going to see above normal temperatures coming up this weekend. And beyond that, it's going to be cooler, but it's projected to be above normal than it should be for this time of year. Of course, precipitation chances, well, you can't have a dry spell forever, unfortunately. We will see the rain come back, a wet pattern come back in our area again. Now, of course, we did have a long stretch of some dry weather, so the ground's been able to kind of dry out a little bit. The water's been able to recede down the river and continue to make an impact for many unfortunate Americans in the South. In Mid-South, we'll be seeing all this devastating flooding. Even here in the New River Valley, we have that issue with the New River overcoming its banks from time to time. So we'll see what happens with that over the next couple of weeks as we're wrapping up the semester. Switching gears now to our inspirational quote of the day. We have been kind of on a roll with this and been trying to keep up with what is in the making of who is giving inspiration on a daily basis. And this is from Inc.com, INC.com. And today's quote of the day is by Rand, R-A-N-D. The question isn't who isn't going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. Again, the question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. So there you go. Let's see what else day of the day as it is. Or our word of the day, actually. We'll pop that up here. Webster's, Merriam-Webster's.com. This is yesterday's word, it's purview. This is the body or enacting a part of a statute, or the limit, purpose, or scope of a statute. Of course, like the Statute of Liberty, it's purviewing there, and it's just staying there in a position. Or it's also the range of vision, understanding, or conjancing. Conagizing. That's the word right there. I think I nailed that one. Alrighty, now our national days, the holidays. Today, let's see, is World Water Day. Talking about water, we're on the subject here. We can't escape it. And, with flooding, it's good. It's unfortunate that happens, but get you a bottle of water today. If you're planning to be doing any works out, go to the recreation center, grab you a water bottle or just a bottle of water, whatever. Of course, a lot of people freak out because they have that the plastic contamination thing of it. I can't think of what it is either, and they're always on those bottles. You get them. Just be careful. The BO2, I think is what it is, or something of that nature. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's anyway, water contamination thing in plastic, so you got to be careful of what you pick up. Anyway, it's World Water Day. It's a day dedicated to drawing attention to the water-related issues that humans in almost every country faces. This was created in the United Nations, or the UN. The goal of the World Water Day is to bring aid to people who truly need it across the borders. So not only here in the United States, but across the world. This day in 2005, Water for Life Decades was launched, which aimed to give higher profit to the women participating in the UN and the water-related program. Back in 1992, this day was proposed by the United Nations. And of course, in 1993, the World Water Day was held for the first time. And of course, clean source of water, grab some friends, and you own the water and clean up a crew. Of course, if it's sunny where you're at, you can do a car wash. Take it out if you have all that salt on the bottom of your tires. Of course, that dust can lead to some erosion, corroding your tires. And so anyway, that's something you got to keep an eye out. It's also National Puppy Day. This is typically celebrated on March 23rd, but however, observed on a Friday and Monday will fall on the weekend. And happy West Virginia Day out there. Today's National West Virginia Day. You got your stay of the day, and of course, we're going to find out when National Virginia Day is. We're going to get that at some point. Anyway, so now we're switching over to the men's basketball NCAA tournament. Last night, boy, was there many exciting games on. The big game that played last night was against Wofford, and the team, let's see if I can try to find it here. I have my bracket here in front of me. Let's see, that's the other bracket. Hold on, give me a second, folks. I'll get it. Of course, I want to remind you the Martinsville Speedway race is taking place this weekend. And 1 year ago, they were dealing with snow. And so about 2 to 5 inches of snow fell for a good chunk of the south side area. And had to postpone the race and on the Monday. And of course, on the Sunday and the following Monday, they had to use it. And of course, what was interesting, I thought this was kind of amusing, NASCAR actually wrote excused letters to people who bought tickets for this race to come in on Monday and take over the area. I thought that was just so weird how NASCAR did that. But this year, we have sunshine and a lot of 60s down there. So hats off to all the fine folks that work on the Martinsville Speedway race. And so there you go. Anyway, here, so that's the plus side of that. So anyway, basketball game last night, Wofford and Senate. I forget what the score was. Actually, I can pull it up on the March Madness app. Get this in the App Store for free. Games do start today about 12 o'clock. That will go into effect. So the games from yesterday from Wofford and let's see here. I can pull it up from anyway, I think I just said it. The score was 84-68 Stanton Hall. Wofford will play the University of Kentucky, who defeated yesterday Alabama Christian of 79-44. Auburn defeated New Mexico with a close game of 78-77. Auburn will go on to play Kansas today. We also have Purdue and Old Dominion. Boy, that was a tight game. I was watching that last night. It's about 12:30, and it was kind of interesting to see if anybody was going to score a swish in that. And boy, they finally got it. Purdue knocked out Old Dominion with a score of 61-48. Purdue will play the ultimate defeated Villanova, which we played last year in the NCAA bracket. And so tomorrow you can catch those games on ESPN2. We'll be playing Maryland, which is a 3 seed. We are a 14 seed tomorrow at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Some of the other games we played yesterday were Maryland Belmont 79-77, a close game on that. LSU put the defeating against Yale. That was a close game as well. 79-74. Maryland will take on LSU today. And Minnesota and Louisville. Boy, that was a big upset game yesterday. I had Louisville going all the way for the first half. And so bracket kind of busted right there. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Minnesota took the lead of 86-76. They'll go on to play Michael State later on today. The big Gonzaga and Pharaoh DeSun, they played them yesterday. It's been a big game, 87-49. Gonzaga will play Baylor, which is another upsetting game with Syracuse and Baylor. I had Syracuse going, kind of busted that one right there. So they was a score of 78-69. And our last game, they played yesterday with many games. Michigan and Montana, close game. I did have Michigan going, And so I have them playing against Florida State today. You can catch all those games on ESPN, TBS, TNT, and True TV. All back-to-back games. Wish all the teams the best. Sponsored by Coca-Cola, Capital One, and Buick. Alrighty, so there's your March Madness wrap-up. It's going to be playing all weekend long on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. Check all those stations out, or you can download the March Madness app like I did myself. First time ever I pretty much got into sports with something like this. I really had never thought about it as just for fun, and that's what I'm doing it for fun. And so anyway, I know a lot of people like to bet games and win millions of dollars, and I don't see the risk of losing money. I like to keep my own cash to myself and put it to a very valuable use, like paying off student loans in the next several years. Alrighty, we got Tristan Blake Ryan's coming up in about 20 or so minutes here at 11 a.m. Listen to his channel, this Ryan's Report. Give him a subscribe, like his page on Facebook, and subscribe to his YouTube channel, Tristan Blake Ryan's. I'll be back with you on Monday with the men's tennis team. We have a coach and two senior captains coming in where we talk with them and see how their season's going. They've been, so far, records have been showing pretty well overall this past spring season, so we're going to see how they're doing the upcoming rest of the season. Hopefully they'll make it on to a higher division level in the end of the semester. So we wish them the best. Rooting on our Radford Women Highlander team. Go Highlanders. We will be supporting you. You can head over to McAdoo's tomorrow for the game and check out them. It is $7.25 to get in for a ticket, I think it is. And so congratulations to the Radford Highlanders. Make us proud. We're rooting you on here from Radio Free Radford, all from Student Media and Oliver from Radford University. We wish you the best. All right, I'm off the air, folks. Enjoy your weekend.